And hello, dark, dank, infraweb. Yeah. Greetings, all in the electronic digital world. Yeah. So, hello, all. I feel good. No shave November. I'm really doing well on this thing. My hair looks pretty good, which, I need, right? You gotta have good hair. It's good to be back. This is podcast episode 6 of the Dave DY Show. Yeah, how many times has it been done in a movie? I can't remember. It was in a movie where the guy hummed it. Yeah, it went about whatever business they were going about. A silliness. That's entertainment. Showbiz. So, get out and vote. I've talked about this previously to the millions of individuals watching this right now. To no one. To my entire audience of nothing. No one. Yeah, you have to get out and vote. The estimated spend for this election is somewhere in the realm of $5 billion. The most expensive, the highest costing midterm election in history. More money has been put into this election by both parties, I don't know, independents, whomever, than in any other midterm election in history. $5 billion or more. What could you do with $5 billion? Dude, you could run like 4.5 mega millions. Maybe. Mega million. $1.5786 billion. What? Come on. One person somewhere of who knows what race, religion, origin somehow had a ticket somewhere in South Carolina in a box store that you had to drive to even, see if they had phone, internet, or power, or an outhouse. Yeah, they won. So, a lot of money into this election. I've said it before, huge female presence in this election. Awesome. Very controversial for race. Sort of ebbs and flows in this country. Very controversial for religion, for sexuality and gender. All these pieces. And primarily because of Donald Trump. His controversy, his flamboyance, the things that he's used his entire life on his television shows and Miss America and his real estate businesses in his everyday world, dating and marrying supermodels, being the rich and famous, I'm sure. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. Robin Leach, if he were alive today, would visit Donald Trump. And I'm sure Donald Trump was visited by Robin Leach multiple times, as well as his father or whomever, who's also rich. So he seems to be the driving feature for the media, emotional responses, for the social, the financial, the economic, the cultural. He's the impetus for all this, which is good. And it's weird how people come and go. Obama was stumping in Florida, and he went on some rant more than he normally ever did in his 8 years in the presidency, where he seemed scripted, controlled, structured. I guess on this rant, and I heard a couple pieces of it, which that's not true. I think I saw him in Denver when he first won at the Broncos Stadium. And he gets pretty emotional, or he'll sing, "Oh, amazing grace," but whatever. But it seems in this one he was really amped up. He was sweaty. Of course, it's Florida under his armpits. He was yelling about Hillary. He was yelling about, the mob and coming into Mexico from Central America. So, back in it, and I don't think anyone expected anything different. Everyone knew that he would always be some kind of part of it. Not your disappearing ex-president. Nor Michelle, right? So good for them. And then all the stars, everybody's trying to get Gillum in. Gillum seems to be some kind of flashpoint for all of this, like Ocasio-Cortez was in New York, though Gillum seems to even be better spoken. He seems like he communicates well. He's a good-looking dude. He's from Miami down here, I think. He's got some Cuban, some island, maybe some... African American, I don't know, but he's good looking, he's got good eyes, he knows how to carry himself. He was up there in Jacksonville or Tallahassee or wherever up north. I don't know, he was mayor, I think it was Jacksonville. And he might win. But, he wants to give it away. And I get it. I continue to say this. I get it. This is the richest country in the history of time. Of this existence of humanity. We have more spoils, we have more power, we have more land, we have more presence, we have more anything, America, than in any other time in history. And why wouldn't you want to distribute and share and enrich the entire country? But the want to do that, and the people that need that enrichment, and the people that want that enrichment, or the people that unfortunately get stuck in a rut or get stuck in addiction of any sort, opioid or heroin or gambling or sex or human trafficking or crime and lies and corruption, a lot of the government, those people aren't good. Hell, a lot of the, religion, this silly, child molestation fiasco that's been going on for 50 years, or as long as there's been priests around, celibacy. Holy crap. It's a small portion. If you've ever seen that 3 billboards with the gal from Fargo, the female police officer, sheriff, whatever, who was pregnant in Fargo, she's in this 3 billboards, and she approaches the priest that's in her house with her son, sitting at a table, and she shreds him. I don't know who wrote that. It's not epic in proportion, but it's pretty damn good, and it's pretty spot on. For a perspective, somebody who's very angry at the Catholic Church and all the things they've done. Just like you can be angry at Larry Nassar and what he did to those beautiful children, those young women, those girls in the Olympics over decades. And then the Carollis who watched that and allowed it because they wanted to win. I said this in yesterday's podcast or a recent one. The will to win supersedes everything. You don't think the Carollis didn't know that Nassar was doing that? Carollis knew everything. They knew when the girls pooped, when they ate, where they were, what was injured, what they were good at, what was bad, the routines. They knew everything. And that crumb. And it's happened in all sport, and it's happened in all organized anything. And it's unfortunate that it happens. And it's fortunate that it comes out. And it's fortunate that the media has the ability to show that now. And that those gymnasts, Ellie Reisman and all of them, they got to speak to that scumbag. What a crumb. A creep and a crumb, And if you don't understand victimization, if you don't understand abuse, physical and mental and emotional abuse, and it doesn't have to be male, female, or whatever it is, it can be any. It can be a parental figure or a mentor to a child. It can be a strong versus a weak, and that's what that dude did. Those children went in for treatments, and those girls were performing at the highest level. Their bodies hurt. Changes and weirdness. You have to be dialed in to perform at a level where you do 2.5 or 3 flips in the air and the body continues on with that type of rigor. your joints, your mental state, so that it's clear, so that you land those, that you train your hardest, that you don't digress. Again, elite athleticism, focus is critical. In the 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day for years. Nastia Lukin, right? The Eastern Bloc countries. When you force people into that paradigm, of course they flourish. Many don't. And they fail. They injure out. They quit. But those that stay, good God, they rise above normalcy. They turn into great gymnasts, right? And those girls would sit in front of that guy. Oh, yeah. All right, well, let me give you treatment. Let's verify. Give him some kind of female exam. And, you dirty scumbag. And the shit part is we got to watch that. I don't want to watch that. I want to understand that it occurred. But then you got to watch it play out on national media. And on the one hand, I get it. If you're aware, it'll never happen again. But shit, man. I get angry. I want to, slowly draw and quarter that gentleman. God damn, how do you get to that? And it happens all the time. People always sit there astounded. How did it happen? Over years, slowly, everybody turned an eye, right? In collegiate athletics. Sandusky, he was touching boys in the locker room. We heard some noises. Thought it was the boys' cheer section. Come on! Oh, no, that was 1982. It was accepted back then. What? The strong and the weak, and that will always be the case. And the leaders and the followers and all that jazz. And the victimizers and the victims. And how we accept that. Clearly, in today's times, we're not accepting it. We're not accepting it in race, religion, sexuality. We're not accepting it in anything. And, these are good discussions in many instances. Many instances, they're not. White supremacists, right, up in Richmond or wherever, and you're having, people drive cars over people. And people are still out there, and they're fighting it, and they're making statements, and they're trying to express themselves. Peacefully or violently. But expression is good. Complacency, ignorance, suppression, right? Those are bad. Put you in a bad spot. Next thing you know, it seems really weird right now because there seems to be parts of it. They wore a Halloween costume with a big Mario mustache, made fun of the Mexicans, and there was Statue of Liberty, and they were holding a wall. You're suspended and you're removed from your job and I don't get that, dude. I get ethics, but it seems that line is very blurred nowadays, and there are groups that, as opposed to, and this occurred in the 80s, 90s with workplace environments where they didn't want sexual misconduct, and it quickly amped up and escalated to all the major corporations around the United States, where they had a zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. If we hear that you did anything, gone. You're gone. You are guilty. We don't want to investigate. We don't want to get into this. If there's any type of structured response stating that there was an offense, you're gone. And I get that. I mean, the lawsuits are ridiculous anymore, right? Sexual, Megyn Kelly. Oh, Eisner. Oh, he's mean to me. Dude, that lady, she is a senior player. And I'm not saying Matt Lauer with a button on his desk to lock his door. Dude, that's perversion. Those guys are creeps. And you sit back and wonder how they got there. Whoa. How the hell did Matt Lauer get there? Dirty scumbag. But that's power, and that's money, and that's people telling you that you're untouchable, that you're the greatest, that you're gorgeous, and you're strong, and you're handsome, and you're smart. Sooner or later, you start believing that shit. My dad told me there's always somebody better, dude. I remember being 10 or 12 or 13 laughing at the public golf course because there was this 88-year-old with a niblick. She was leaning over and swinging. And my dad was pretty good with me, with all of us. But with me, it was different because he was older. He was born in 29, I was born in 69. So he was a little older, and we'd go out there alone, and we were walking out to the driving range, and she was hitting balls in this little area next to it between the clubhouse, the putting green, and the driving ranges. And it had a giant hill that you could ride a bike path up to the top and then look off and see the golfers hit at the driving range. They'd let the grass, the heather grow long. Really cool memories as a kid. Dude, I'm blessed. I had the greatest life ever. I have. The greatest parents ever. And I made fun of her. I said, look at that old dumb lady. And he said, you shit. Watch your mouth. He said, she's out there. She's trying. That's something. You don't make fun of people like that. You celebrate that. That somebody that age is out there doing that. And everyone telling him, you stupid old lady, get off the course. You're taking up space. She's doing it. And that was a lesson. I've remembered that my whole life. And I felt embarrassed and I felt bad. And I was like, And I felt pissed off at my father. Like, shut up, what are you telling me? And then I realized, and when you get older, you're like, yeah, that's true. And it's so easy to join the club that says, look at this stupid old lady. Look at this stupid big mouth. Look at the gay lesbian. Look at the black guy. Look at the stupid Mexican. Look at the rich old white asshole. Whatever. You can look at anybody, and that's what happens nowadays. What it was in the movie. It said opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. Okay? And then you got the other guy that goes, you're about as useful as an asshole on my elbow. Sitting at the table and you're shitting all over the place. So, that's true. But, checks and balances and governance or whatever. And we're waning. It's a swinging pendulum. Right now we're waning the other way in a very liberal manner where a lot of people have a lot of say. And it's good. Challenges the institutions. And I think Trump's done all that. Right? The crazy Iranian sanctions he's got back on. The world doesn't agree. Whatever. Iran. We've always had problems over there, right? You're up, you're down. And then Saudi Arabia, and they killed Khashoggi, hacked that dude up, strangled him, sent the hit squad, sent the forensics dude, cleaned it all up, repainted the consulate, and problems about that. That's a very tumultuous area, right? All of the secret backdoor partnerships, the oil, all that business. That's a mess. It's been that way forever. But there have been biblical signs. There was a red heifer born, the first in 2,000 years. Just saying. Red calf, heifer, first in 2,000 years. A snake slithered out of the western wall, right out of the crack in the wall. You had Jacob, or you had Ithia, and they're at the Wailing Wall, and the note they put in popped out, snake came out. What the? Sign from God. And then the Dead Sea has these big sinkholes, water holes, fish in them. Fish in the Dead Sea, the birth of the red heifer, snakes coming out of the Wailing Wall. Evil, evil, evil. End of days. Right there. That's what they're saying. You have a lot of high clerics or whatnot in the temple and the synagogue, it seems like the Jewish faith, that are stating that they have seen the signs. And the end of days are upon us. So you better prepare. You better rock the vote today. Get out and rock the vote. Get it done. Say you participated tomorrow, whenever. When do we vote? Sometime this week. And put your little sticker on and say, I rock the vote. But I told you down here in Florida, it's going to be busy at the ballots. It's going to be slow at the voting sites with your voting stations. So get it done. I voted early. I don't want to hear shit from any of you. Okay? Okay? And I voted no on the God-blessed determination of the beautiful racetracks we have down here for the awesome, fast dogs, right? Ban greyhound racing! Every 3 days there's an injury. If you're going 40 miles an hour, as a greyhound does, and you hit something, it's catastrophic. Huh, yeah, no shit. And then you got somebody else that goes, dude, you ever seen a greyhound? They sit when they sleep. Otherwise, they're going 40 miles an hour. I get it. I get both sides. I don't want to see greyhounds dead. I don't want to see, no racing anymore. I don't want to see mistreatment of the animal. I don't want to see a stoppage in horse racing, because sometimes it's entertaining. Gotta mutter. You gotta mutter out there. Look at that mutter go. Ha, hey! I don't know. I've never been to a greyhound race. I've seen them on, the internet. I've seen them on Wild World of Sports or whatever. Those things fly. I've seen them at dog parks. They fly! And it seems like all these people that want to take care of them are associated with the rescue component, because they're not really great pets unless you have a yard as big as an oval so that the thing can fly around. If you saw my backyard here in Florida, that has a drainage easement next to it. Drainage easement. Because we lived in a swamp that the Army Corps of Engineers built. That's what Florida is. They've built all of the landfill that has created every town and village down here. And the famed Okefenokee Swamp into Louisiana, right? Whatever. That's what this place is. Giant wetlands everywhere. So when you're standing on soil here, somebody filled it in usually. And there's a giant drainage easement so that it doesn't flood, right? And these things feed into canals that are everywhere in Florida, which is why when they tell you there's no gators up in Orlando, there's no gators out there at Canaveral. Out there over Tampa, there ain't no gators. There's gators everywhere, because they swim in the canals and go where they want. And they might eat your dog, your arm, or your golf ball, because golfing's also very popular here. Yeah, super. So, yeah, I've got a postage stamp back there. Dude, I walk out back, my back door, and I turn, and there's the gate and the fence around me. Because the covenant of the community is like a Donald Trump contract, right? New York lawyer. So, it's a mess. And a greyhound can't exist in that. They have to run, because that's the nature of that animal. And I get it. I don't want them with broken legs. I don't want them mistreated. Apparently they get injured and they send it to a farm or a kennel, where they then turn the animal into a blood donation animal, so that the other animals that get hurt, effed up, jacked, they can then give them blood transfusions. And they'll do this for 2 years, and then they'll terminate the dog. But you know what? We're not eating them. And so they're still existing, and I'm sure they're in some type of kennel with the rest of the dogs. If you go down to the rescue kennel down here, can't remember the name of it, Rosa whatever, it's got 50 freaking pit bulls in it, and they're mangled and messed up, because dog fighting's everywhere down here. Michael Vick, right? And it's a nightmare. Well, at least the greyhounds are getting taken care of, because they've got some kind of value, intrinsic value. So, I don't know. I voted no on that. Keep the greyhound tracks running, man. And I'm not a gambler. I don't gamble. I don't screw around with drugs. I've had times in my life where I drank. My old man drank 2 beers, 3 beers a night his whole life. The doctor told him he was an alcoholic. I remember when he got sick, the 6 times I recall in my life, he stopped drinking. He said, I can stop drinking any day I want. But we are Irish mostly, got some Polish in us, and we got drinkers. Everybody, we grew up drinking. My brother Douglas drinks like a fish. My sister Mary Ellen drinks like a fish. Well, my sister Chris drinks. My brother John, he doesn't drink so much. He uses other drugs. Me, the drinking messes up my body. It makes me feel bad. It screws up my gut biome. It screws up my digestion. I get bloated. I feel it in, organs, and it's not per se liver or kidneys, but my intestines. And the older I get, man, 2, 3, 4 days to recover from a drinking binge. And so it's probably every 2 or 3 or 5, 10 years now where I go on a binge. And Tracy has to put me somewhere because I'm naked. I pissed and crapped everywhere. I punched out a door or a window. I bled all over the place. The cops showed up. She had to tell him that he was letting off steam. Everybody go home. Hey, that occurs once in a while. Or I'm in the back of a car. I throw up in the front seat. I throw up in the window because the window's not open. I wake up covered in vomit. Hey, whatever. You poop yourself. Yeah. Situations like that. You can have one of those every 5-10 years. Come on. That's explainable. Yeah. So, strange. But get out and vote and make it count and feel like you contributed and take an active role in the things that are going on around you. You don't have to be a volunteer. You don't have to want to be a politician. All you are is a contributing individual in your community. And your voice is your voice. And people that shame you for that, it's silly. That you're not going and working the voting, the polling locations, and you're not distributing multiple pieces of the $5 billion of media propaganda that have been pushed everywhere via the internet, via the radio, via the TV, via actual media. I mean, give me a break. You're just as valuable and you mean just as much as any of those people. You don't have to be a part of it to be a part of it. So do it. And that's cool. It's awesome. And wear your little sticker. I voted. Biatch! What? Yeah. So we got that going on, and we got the end of days going on. So watch yourself. Be prepared when, I don't know, whatever, Jesus shows up. When the good Lord shows up. My mother says that. The good Lord shows up. St. Peter, you're at that gate and asks you. Better be prepared. Woo! Or you're going low. You're going down. Yeah, I don't know about any of that. And I don't want to be controversial. It seems like, faith is something strange. That masses of people can believe that 3 strange signs. It's a wall that's 2,000 years old in Jerusalem, right? And it's butts up to the temple, Temple Mount, right? And there's nothing behind that wall but earth. It would make sense that a snake on occasion, with the cracks and the riddled, falling apart, decaying, would come out of that, and it's a biblical sign. Or, that there are some fish that apparently can swim in the briny water of the Dead Sea, not the pure salt water out in the middle. And some sinkhole that's probably got some influx of fresh and salt water, and then you got a fish that clearly can do that, where it's not as salty, so they're going to go where the food is or whatever algae's growing, and it's a biblical sign. People need signs. We've known that our whole history, right? That's what's driven us, which is why you have people that assume power, because they understand how to create, manipulate those signs, and then utilize that for some purpose. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever. Trumperstein uses it well, man. Drives his businesses. That guy's a billionaire off of that crap. So, beware the signs. Think clearly. Spend time to postulate and make your own opinion. Come up with some deep thought there that you have. And not like that IBM computer that beat the guy playing chess. Deep thought, whatever, right? I can't even remember. Who'd he beat? Yeah, the Russian. But make up your own mind, have an opinion, be able to verbalize that opinion. Stay calm when you try to do it. Even though you might get emotional. And that's awesome. And that thing's out. Just turned off. So whatever happened there. That was camera 1. That was camera 2. So we've got that going down. I guess Pete Davidson. What's the Pete Davidson? He's skinny. He looks, emaciated. Maybe give that guy a sandwich or something. I don't know. And he wears like the trendy clothes. He'll wear like a shirt that you catch on a rapper or a gangbanger, that with the collar done up and it's bright orange. Or he'll wear like the puffy vest, which fine. You gotta dress trendy when you're young so that you can associate with whatever group that you're trying to associate with. They'll like you, you'll like them, you'll find a connection, they'll laugh at your jokes, they'll be entertaining with you, for you, whatever. I don't know. I never heard of the dude. Saturday Night Live has been dead for a decade. It's a pile, right? Alec Baldwin, I guess he's beating people up in New York over parking spots, and that's not new. That dude's been angry his whole life. Somebody, he came out of the, they arrested him, right? And they held him for 6 hours or something, and he came out of the holding location, the jail or whatever, the temp cell, and somebody said, hey, Alex, why don't you provide a better example to your kids instead of beating people up for parking spots? And then the guy yelled again, hey, yeah, you think you can afford a garage, park anywhere you want in your garage without beating people up with all the money you're making. And that goes to show you, dude, doesn't matter what you got and where you, people are people. And that guy, you can tell he's a drunk and he's angry. And he's fiery, and he comes from that crap. Whatever, the Baldwin clan from Boston or wherever, they're fiery dudes, man. And he's at the spear tip of that joint. And he beat some cat up who tried to snatch his parking spot when I guess he had a relative holding it or something, punched him right in the face. 49-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old, whatever he is. Yeah, he's older. 60-year-old, that's hilarious. So whatever, good for him. He's flexing his, position. But this Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande, she's an idiot. We've watched her. This family has watched her whole life from iCarly, which was awesome. Made us laugh all the time as a family. Spencer on iCarly was epic. He was her older brother. He was an artist. They had some awesome episodes where that dude is a nut. And then Gibby he was the little fat kid that turned into the big fat kid who'd take his shirt off. But yeah, Ariana Grande was on Victorious, which ran opposite of that. But Sam on iCarly, who was the blonde that was her best friend, and she was a pretty good character. She was like a bully, big mouth, bad influence kid that skipped school and ate bad food and did what she wanted, as opposed to Carly, who was the good girl and tried to be good with her older brother Spencer. Sam split off, and it was Sam and Kat with some show. It was horrible because they were older. And Kat on Victorious and on Sam and Kat played this role of this mousy girl, and that would dye her hair, and she was heavier. She's from down here in West Palm. She was heavier, and she sang because Victorious was about this group of kids at an art school in Southern California. And you could tell on that show she had a great voice. And so did some of the other kids. There was a black kid, Andre, on there. He could sing and play the piano and stuff. There was Victoria, whatever her name is. And she could sing, and she's disappeared. And they've all disappeared pretty much, other than Ariana Grande, who's blown up because she's got a great voice. And she aligned herself with the hip-hop and with the right music producers out there and rappers. And she does pop, and she does, maybe some, I wouldn't say rhythm and blues, I wouldn't say rap, I don't know, whatever the hell genre of music it is, but she's great. And she's a kook. She's a young person that's mental. And she's dated this clown. I've never seen him. I never watched Saturday Night Live. I guess he was on a couple other shows on Netflix or whatever. He's got pink hair now. Like I said, give him a sandwich. He's emaciated. He's got tats like everybody. I've never seen him funny. He does the Weekend Update and some other skits on the thing. And I guess he just did a skit or a Weekend Update about, one of the cats running for Congress or local government with an eye patch because he got his eye blown out over in Afghanistan. And whatever, crappy media. But they got to let that go. I never saw the deal. Other than, I guess it's just another social media subject to pinpoint and get, likes and views and all that crap on. Because who really gives a crap about Ariana Grande and her stupid boyfriends? Mac Miller, whatever, the guy that OD'd. All these kids ODing in a little peep or whatever, and then they're just all popping like 9 Xanax bars on SoundCloud or some crap. And I just saw something on Little Peep or whatever where he's going legendary. Yeah, he's legendarily dead. Who cares? Good God. the role models and what the kids today focus on, which is what every generation prior has always said. Dude, focus on something that has value. You're not going to be a YouTuber or a SoundCloud star. Go to school. It sucks. Learn your ABCs, your 1, 2, 3s. Just get the stuff done. Be proud and be smart and be a hard worker. And when you have time to have quality of entertainment and quality of living in your life because of your hard work, enjoy it. If the entire globe were responsible singularly for themselves, I've said this forever, what a better world we'd have if you were solely responsible for your own actions. But no one's responsible for their actions anymore, at any level. Blame it on the rain, blame it on whatever. Not me, wasn't me. No, we've got you on film. That's not me. Prove it. Yeah, we've got you on film. That's you. Not me. No, that's you. All right, I'm insane. You're like, give me a break. And there's going to be a lawyer somewhere that'll take you. Johnny Cochran. If the glove don't fit, you must have called. Whatever. OJ's killing people. And they still got him off. Which, oh well. More power to Johnny Cochran. So, yeah, I wonder what OJ's doing. He hasn't been in the limelight lately. I think he's still out in Vegas living in somebody's house. He said he was coming down here to Florida, to the west side, the west coast. I don't know. Probably living it and enjoying it, and maybe he'll slowly grow older, and die, like Burt Reynolds or Joe Namath or whomever, and Tequesta or wherever around here, because their days are over, and they did well, and they're lucky, and they should have their family or their lives, and then you die, and or you're Barbra Streisand. You come back from nowhere after 20 years and make an album about how much you hate the government, or you hate Trump, or you hate whatever. Shut up. God bless. Go get your other dog cloned, you retard. Man. Yeah, it's crazy. And same with religion. And, the end of all these signs, the end of days. And yet, you've got these minimal stories about all these, child molestation stories in, the Catholic Church all over the place. And this bishop and this guy and the Pope says something stupid. And we're gonna have a response, and they don't have a response. And I don't know what's changed. Dude, that's horrific. The scale of the destruction of what those priests did to so many young boys and men. I mean, and I don't think they'll ever be able to recover from that or own up to it. You'll have a group of new, fresh blood, new devotees that come in, and maybe it'll pick back up. It seems like in the Latin Americas, there's a huge contingent of Christian and Catholic individuals. And when you come from squalor and you don't have anything, you're trying to find the better. That's why they're walking 2,000 miles to get here. That's why our relatives boated 2,000 miles to get here. Everybody wants better. Everybody wants to win at all cost. That's why they cheat, steal, kill. That's human, man. If you're not trying to get better, what are you doing? You're stuck somewhere, I guess. But, so, I don't know. Pete Davidson, and Ariana Grande, we're going to be together forever. She's like, later, stupid. And you got to move out of my $16 million Manhattan suite, and I get to keep the stupid dog we bought. Okay. Probably was a Greyhound. Rescue dog. Yeah. They ran it around Central Park. I don't know. Who cares? So that's all that's going on. Keep kicking butt. Taking names. Grow your junk for November. Right? Look at this. I almost just died. About 3 weeks ago. Maybe 3 weeks ago? I don't know. Prior to me almost getting electrocuted and dying on that island. Installing that pendant light, yes. We got an air fryer, which is also over in the corner, the big white cube. right over there. And somebody cooked up, Tracy, it was chicken and over air dried it, right? 12, 15 minutes instead of like 6 or 8. And it was like chicken dust. Whoo! So I ate a piece of one of those and was talking or something, and it went right there, and I'm standing over there, and she's at the table, and I walked over and I went, and I sort of voiced to her, I'm choking to death. And she got behind me, and I slowly got whatever was cleared there. And it's the first time in my life that I ever fully conscious had that experience, because I've had apnea and acid reflux in bed because I'm a fat fuck. And it seems that, of course, at heavier times in my life when I'm sleeping, I'll have reflux and it'll come up and it actually closes the air tube, the airway, and then you get acid down there. And I wake up choking to death. And I can barely breathe. And that was the first half a dozen times. The first 20 times that happened, boy, it was scary. But what do you do? I gotta get one of those Sleep Number beds or the adjustable mattress so that I'm always up and it keeps that damn stomach acid down. All right, donations in for a Sleep Number mattress bed. Send me one or whatever. Sealy Sleep Number. I don't know. So I'm up, right? And then right, and it works. That'll happen again too, because as you can tell, I continue to be a rather fat shit. So, saved my life there. Almost got electrocuted, fell off that, almost died. So, that's what's been going on. Let's have a good November. Let's keep crack-a-lacking. And, go team. Out!